Hey everybody, good morning. So I'm doing a walking thing, as I do. It's like reasonable temperature outside, so I figured it wouldn't be a bad idea to get some exercise, but I don't really have any plans as per usual. I went on a small walk yesterday, shot a little bit of a video, but I ultimately decided not to post it because, like, for the majority of the reasons, for the majority of what I said in the video, I could sum up in 5 minutes, and the video was like 25 minutes long, so I decided to just get rid of it. Well, not get rid of it, I'm going to throw it in my rant folder, and then someday I'll probably just post them all, like I said. But, yeah, it was just kind of random. I was on the public trail, and there was like 3 people down there, probably like, I don't know, 14 to 18, be my guess. And it was just a weird situation. I don't know if it was weird because I was talking to a camera and they heard me and they thought I was nuts and talking to myself, or if it was weird because the dude was like a half-naked Justin Bieber wannabe with 2 chicks. Not completely sure which part was weirder, but it is what it is. What I said in the video primarily was that I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do, like usual, and I got plants for the garden. I got actual plants, so I planted them. Got some peppers and tomatoes only. None of my seeds are sprouting. I think I started them too early. Well, do you know what? I know I started them too early. But I was hoping that they would just, lie dormant and come up later. But I don't know. It might still happen, but... And then I made the mistake of the 3 pepper plants that I had. I did replant them, but I ended up planting the other pepper plants like right next to them because I forgot they were there. Because like the pepper plants I bought were like 6 to 8 inches tall, and the pepper plants I transplanted from the egg carton were like 1 inch or 2 inches tall. So it wasn't like, they weren't very noticeable. Like, I have some weeds growing in the garden that are bigger than they are, so, yeah, no. Other than that, I mean, I don't remember if I said anything too profound. I don't think so. I could have swore that was a freaking snake. I don't know why I freeze like that. It's like, I don't know if it's like one of those natural reactions, but I see something particularly that looks like a snake, and I always kind of like freeze. Like, why? It's not like it could actually hurt me. God. So today, the goal of the video is to not get poured down rain on, I guess. I'm gonna walk up to the public trail. We're actually almost to the point where I get on the road where I'm gonna stop filming, so I'm gonna make this kind of quick. This is kind of like the intro. Once I get up to the public trail, the long one I usually take, I'm gonna decide whether I want to take the power line, the railroad tracks, or just walk the public trail. And I think primarily it's gonna depend on how I feel when I get to the top and how many people are out. Because if there's not a lot of people, I'll probably just stick to the public trail. If there is, I might take one of the 2 other ways, because it'd be quieter. I don't expect much as far as collecting anything of value, but like I said, this is more like I don't want to be a fat blob. So I might as well take a walk and work off those donuts I've been eating. So, yeah, interesting. A couple personal side notes you guys might enjoy. I broke 200 pounds. How? Don't really know. I mean, It's got to be an age thing. Or I quit smoking. And I heard that could be a thing. So, you know, yeah, so I'm just getting heavier and heavier, and I kind of think that with my diet, I'm not losing weight, but since I'm moving around more, I'm gaining muscle, so it's like making me heavier without me actually losing any fat. That's why it kind of looks like I'm getting a gut, but in reality, it's really kind of like, it's pretty solid, like, so, yeah. Another personal, probably too personal fact about me. So, do you ever drink those Kool-Aid packets you put in water? Like, they have all different kinds of them. Well, if you drink a bunch of the blue ones, well, actually, I only drink one of the blue ones. I used the bathroom this morning, and it dyed my droppings like green. And at first, I was like, uh-oh, what the heck's going on? And then I was like, oh, that's right. Because it happened once before, and it took me a bit to put two and two together. But you ever want something gross and interesting, drink some of those blue Kool-Aid packets, and then use the bathroom. Alright, well, that's enough for now. I'm getting up to the public trail. I'll catch you guys depending on the situation. So the beautiful sight of no cars. Both beautiful and depressing. It's beautiful because then it's nice and quiet for me. It's depressing because it's such a nice day. But I guess given other options, there might be other things I'd be doing too. That was my first option, my first idea. But with all the stuff getting so high and it being such a hill and me not really knowing where it goes, I think I'm gonna wait. Maybe till the next day it's a little bit clearer. The thing is, if I hike up there, that'd be cool and all, but that's a lot of work to almost guarantee I'm not going to find anything because of how dense that stuff is. So, I think for now, unless a bunch of people show up, I'm going to stick to the public trail. They're working over there. I heard a pretty absurd story of what they're doing. And I really can't say either way. What I do know is if the guy that told me told the truth, that's probably not the smartest way of doing things. Apparently, I'll tell you what I think I know. I'll tell you the basics. I'll tell you what I think's happening. If you take a close enough look, there are the railroad tracks, the bottom. And there's the road they're working on up top. From my assessment, bare bones assessment, is that they're afraid the road's collapsing, which it probably is, and they don't want the road to collapse onto the railroad tracks because one, that's one of the main roads in town, and two, that's the main working railroad track. So yeah. What's really going on? Not entirely sure. I was contemplating walking up there and seeing for myself, but one, I'm not doing it when they're working, and two, I absolutely hate walking on paved roads, like a long ways, especially that one. I used to walk it all the time, but my ankle's getting worse and worse, and something about hard flat ground that really gets it, in a bad place. I'm gonna let this train go by. I'll be back. Finally, mostly almost kind of quiet. So, this video is gonna be like a mosh pit of just randomness. Hodgepodge, if you will. So, I had a video idea where I was gonna do like 4 hypotheticals or a couple hypotheticals and then have you guys tell me what you would do in a situation. But then I realized I have 27 subscribers and I probably won't get a lot of responses in any short amount of time, so it's probably not a good idea to make it its own video because, by the time I get any feedback on it, I'll forget what the video was in the first place. So I kind of nixed that idea. I'm going to give you guys the hypotheticals anyway, and if you want to throw it in the comments, awesome. If you don't, awesome too. If I do get more than 3 different replies from 3 different people, or if I get bored, I'll tell you what I would do in the situation. But for now, here they are. So the first hypothetical is, what if you knew, without a shadow of a doubt, the world was going to be completely and utterly destroyed, decimated, inhabitable by humanity in 60 days? What would you do? The next one, what would you do if you was the last human on Earth? Like, clarify it, be more like everybody just got poofed out of existence but you. Like, what would you do? Next is, what would you do if there was an actual viable zombie outbreak? And I'm not talking like I've been playing Resident Evil, so it's kind of like kind of reawakening my inner zombie lover. So if there was an actual zombie apocalypse, now my version of a zombie apocalypse would be like an airborne form of rabies, which in retrospect isn't zombies, but virtually brain dead humans that are bent on destroying and eating anything alive. So in a sense, they are zombies. The actual idea of zombies in its entirety isn't really a real thing. Like, if the human system was still working, they wouldn't be dead, so they wouldn't really be a zombie. And if the system stopped working and they were classified as dead, they would rot. So yeah, unless the body. Oh no, I mean, even if the body produced something that would completely make it immune to like microbes that would actually do the breaking down, it would still break down eventually. So, actual Walking Dead, not a reasonable expectation. So, my version of a zombie apocalypse would be something more along the lines of, one of our enemies finally went freaking batnuts crazy and developed a strain of rabies and introduced it to, the drinking water or something. And bam, zombie apocalypse. What would you do? And then the last one is, I forgot. I don't remember what I was gonna say. There was the last person on Earth, the world being destroyed, and zombies. There was another one. I don't know. I'll think of it eventually. We'll just go with those 3, because like I said, when and if I get replies, I'll probably forget what I even said. So apologies in advance. Oh man. Interesting fact. I went drinking 2 nights ago, like I said I was gonna. Went and drank a 6-pack, shots of pool, Tried to, doing that whole pretending like I have friends thing. Ran into a couple of people I went to school with, which was fairly interesting. But, I'm not going to get too in detail. I don't really, like I told them, it's great seeing a familiar face. It's great having a conversation. But it's been so long since I talked to them, it's like they're completely different people. And they're like, yeah, well, we get that. So we talked for a little bit, chilled, and then they left, shots of pole, and I left. And I did bump smoke, and then I bummed another smoke, and then I bummed a smoke today. So I ain't doing so good. I ain't doing so good on the quitting part. As I said, when I drink, I pretty much come to terms with the fact that I'm probably going to smoke at least 1 cigarette. But I didn't drink today, so I shouldn't have bummed one today. And I told dude that, I take full responsibility for this one because I don't need it. I don't even really want it. I'm just kind of doing it for an excuse to talk to somebody. So that might be where the cough's coming from. Because I spent, 3 months without really smoking, and then the last couple of days I smoked 4 cigarettes. So, not bad. nothing to really worry about. I thought if I decide to drink tonight, that I'll bum a smoke like I do, and then I'm not going to drink at all for like 2 or 3 weeks to make sure I don't smoke anymore for a little while. Because I can come to terms with having a lifelong addiction. Like, with all the stuff I've done in my life, it actually surprises me more that I'm not addicted to anything. So smoking a cigarette here and there may or may not kill me, but I'm not going to cry about it. It's life. Speaking of talking to people and human interactions, so the neighbor that I occasionally talk about in my videos, the ones I said I probably shouldn't bother talking about because now people around here know. Well, I refer to them as like the baby farm, because it's like 3 adults and like 10 kids, and then the one kid has a kid, and they're all like 30, like the adults are like 30, so yeah, it's a pretty disgusting situation. But the night I was going down to play pool, I walked up around the longer way, so I had to drop a piece of metal off the neighbor's house, because I don't scrap like iron or steel or any of that stuff, because, you know, you're talking like 7 cents a pound, and how am I going to carry anything worthwhile? Like 100 pounds is $7. I can only carry like 30 to 50 pounds within reasonable expectation. So if I had it laying around and ready to go, if I could carry 50 pounds and, you know, stop by every time, that would pay for my bus trip. But in retrospect, for me to store up 50 pounds and somehow stash it in my backpack and then take it on the bus down just to pay for the ride, it's both smart and stupid. So, like, it's a fun idea, but that's a lot of work. Like, that's a lot of work and it would take up a lot of space I don't really have just to get, you know, my bus money back. So, and then I'd still have to walk from the scrapyard to wherever I was actually going in the first place. So it's like, you know, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? No, it's not. As I said before, if I had a pickup truck, that'd be fine. I'd take like, you know, 800 pounds to 1,000 pounds in, rack up like, you know, 30-40 bucks. That pays for, you know, half a tank of gas, and, you know, that's a good bit to get places, depending on, you know, gas mileage and the price of gas at the time. Anyways, so I stopped up around, dropped off this piece of steel to the neighbor. I usually walk through my first neighbor's yard and then squeeze through the hedges. There's usually a gap there, but the gap's closed up with all this, you know, undergrowth. So, and I was dressed fairly nice because I was going to the bar, so I didn't want to, like, you know, snag my new shirt with the thorns and junk, so decided to walk up around. Anyways, the neighbor yelled down, was like, "Hi, and, you know, you're dressed nice, where's your backpack?" And, like, I just kind of, like, gave her a wave off, you know, because, you know, she's the one talking crap about me. So I was like, you know, I don't know how to describe it. Like, you ever know when somebody says something to you and they're doing it to be condescending, but it's so harmless and frivolous that you can't really say anything back because it just makes you look like a jerk? Well, that's kind of what happened. So I just kind of waved her off and walked, you know, finished walking. She was a road up, so it wasn't like a direct confrontation. But anyways, today I go down to get my daily ritual energy drink, and I run into the other neighbor, the one I was talking to for a little bit, who I still have a strong suspicion has something to do with a little baby farm motif they have going on up there. But, you know, I have no proof, just very, very high suspicions. And, I stopped her and I was like, "Listen, I don't know what you know, I don't know what you think, but considering that we talked so many different days for so much time, I feel that I should at least tell you why I stopped coming by, if you don't already know." And I was like, I stopped coming by because of, you know, I don't like small town drama. I don't like the garbage of people spreading rumors when they know nothing. And she's like, oh, I think I know why you weren't coming around. And she had a weird attitude about it too. So I just kind of blew it off. You know, I feel better for giving an explanation to somebody that I could have possibly called a friend, maybe, eventually. That's a downside to my life. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm not allowed to have friends, because if I have friends, or I gain friends, or it looks like I might even come close to having a friend, this kind of junk happens. So that's why I'm almost always alone. And as I said before, it's a double-edged sword. Does it bother me sometimes? Yeah. Does losing that connection bother me? Not really. I feel bad for some of the kids. But, I mean, I wasn't physically attracted to her. And as it was okay for someone to talk to, and, you know, having that company and having them close by to get the extra exercise of running around the yard with a bunch of kids was nice, but I'm not really missing much. So I told her a while ago, when we were actually talking, that, you know, if you don't want me to come up here and talk, that's fine. I can find something else to occupy my time, and that's just what I'm doing. So, so that is what it is. But that's the interesting interactions of recent. All right, about halfway on the trail, and so this video isn't me stammering for 45 minutes. I'm going to go for a bit, probably walk to about the tunnel until I decide where I'm gonna head off to next. To the tunnel, two people passed me, both of them together on a bike. Well, two bikes, but they knew each other. Whole way here. Really kind of sad. Now, considering that there were no cars out there, and they didn't pass me on the way up, I can only assume they'll be coming back this way eventually. Not the end of the world, because there's a lot of hills, so not that big of a deal. Now, one problem is the fact that there's a lot of hills. I may have said this before, but what kind of jerk invented hills and gravity? Don't get me wrong. Like, this is a rather steep hill, but it's not like I'm not really struggling here. Good God. Why can't the world be flat? There's a hypothetical for you. Would you rather one really long but only slightly inclined hill, or a much shorter but dramatically steeper hill? Like, would you rather walk a mile up a 12% gradient, or would you rather walk a third of a mile up a 40% gradient? There's something to think about. And if you're in a wheelchair, I apologize. Sorry, that's bad. That's bad either way. Alright. I'm at the tunnel. I'm gonna go through the tunnel. There's no point in me taking you through with me. Get a couple steps in, it'll be pitch black. So I'll talk to you guys, eventually. Probably gonna stop on the other side and actually chill for a little bit. There's a picnic table over there. So, maybe I'll catch you there. Alright, so I wore pants and boots, right? That was in anticipation of going off trail at some point. Whether I chose to climb the power line or venture off somewhere, and which I kind of figured I would eventually. And I kind of figured it'd be a good idea to do it, because at some point or another, some of that bamboo stuff is going to get too thick to reasonably move through. I mean, without like carrying a freaking machete or something. So, yeah. So I found this like deer trail that goes directly off the path, and it's going to lead right to the railroad tracks. The railroad tracks loop around to the beginning of the trail, if I do it right. So, I guess that's kind of primarily the plan. As long as there isn't like some sort of like wall down here or moat or something. So it seems like there's a few areas that have like deeply dug gorges that hold a bunch of water. And we're not treading water today, guys. We're not doing that again. That was, last time was pretty rough. I don't mind taking a bit of a chance. But that was definitely, probably more than I planned. More of a chance than I anticipated. This, on the other hand, biggest risk I have is having to turn around. So, that's, that I can live with. A couple extra steps won't kill me. Falling in the river, having to cross the river, or falling down a cliff, that, on the other hand, is a bit more dangerous. So, you'll see probably either right before this clip or directly at the end of the video, I'm going to post a picture, maybe more if I find anything else cool. I found a flower out here that I never seen before. At least I don't recall seeing it before. Like, let me put it to you this way, alright? If I can't eat it, I usually don't commit it to memory. So I might have seen it before, but it's fairly odd. So I took a picture of it, and I might grab one on the way back and see if I can plant it at the house, because in my opinion, it has a very strange, unique beauty about it. I think this is the place I was looking for, but I don't really know. It looks a lot different than I remember. I found a bucket, though. I guess the reason I'm coming down here, there really isn't one, to be honest. The downside is this is the active railroad track, and it's Monday. So that could be... Yeah, this isn't the right place, but that's alright. This is an active railroad track, and it's Monday, so this could be pretty annoying. But, like I said, worst case scenario, I just turn around. So, not an ideal idea, but not the end of the world either. Okay, the place I was looking for had a big open area like that, but it was a lot bigger. Look at that. That's an interesting rock formation. That couldn't have been like that, right? Like, that wasn't just like that. I guess it had to be. I mean, just being like this makes more sense than somebody putting it here. That's cool. That's real cool. Interesting, not interesting note, but a side note. I do think I'm going to spend more money. Guess on what? Some sort of bug repellent. I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but since I quit smoking, I don't have anything for like a good reprieve from the freaking bug assault. So, yeah, I'm probably going to find some sort of bug repellent. I don't think I'm going to use any of the sprays because, one, I just don't want to. I don't think they last long enough. And then I have that crap on my body all day. It's just not, not what I'm all about. I did get some weird insect repellent bracelets before. And I was like, they were only 99 cents. So I was like, and I had a job, so throwing $1 away wasn't that big of a deal to me. So I was like, there's no way these things work. But when I wore them, they worked for the most part. I mean, okay, it was a clear difference to not wearing it, if that makes sense. There was a clear difference between... Oh, here comes a train. There's a clear difference between wearing it and not wearing it. I don't know how far this train is, so I'm going to hurry this up. Look, there's a moat. Probably going to turn around. But I think I'm going to go sit up on that rock for a little bit and contemplate while the train goes by. See if I can blow out my eardrums. But that's the second train since I started this walk. So this probably isn't the best idea. Okay, quite literally, right as the first train came by, another train came by, and there was that, ditch or moat or whatever. So I walked back up to the main trail. It's not the end of the world because there's no people, so it's whatever. But I was hoping to do a wee bit of exploration. I guess it's not over yet. Maybe I'll find something when I get to the end. I'm not sure how much further the end is. Maybe a mile, half mile, somewhere between there. I walked the entire length of this a couple of times, but it is a bit of a journey, especially if you walk from my house. Because from my house to the trail is like a third of a mile, probably. So it's quite a journey. If there wasn't, hills, it wouldn't be all that bad. It's whatever. I usually don't walk the whole trail, because honestly, by the time I hit the tunnel, I usually lose interest. But considering we might not have too many more days, that's not 9,000 degrees, I figure I might as well make the most of it. I was going to go on Google Satellite Earth thing and see if there's another path to take. But I've been a bit down lately, and if I run into another guy that tells me he owns a hillside, I might actually snap. So it'd probably be best to just not put myself in that situation. Yeah. I might. Now, if it has anything to do with the railroad tracks, I don't think I'm doing it. It's quiet now, but I bet you it won't even be 10 minutes another train will come through. I wonder if the train schedule is public knowledge. I would imagine that it should be, right? I mean, we don't have train bandits very often anymore. You would think the schedule would be public knowledge for, people crossing the train tracks. What if there's a long train coming and there was an emergency? I'm sure emergency vehicles have a train schedule to know to take an alternate route just in case. I bet there is. I wouldn't really... Maybe I'll check into it. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. I prefer hiking down the non-active trails anyway. Non-active tracks anyway. Because the active ones have workers. The workers are usually chill, but once again, I'm just in no mood to put up with somebody's bullcrap. Yeah. If I was causing trouble or making a mess, then, I could see somebody being upset. But if I'm walking or scrapping, as long as I ain't stealing crap or lighting on fire, I don't see where they have a right to stop me. No, they probably don't have a right to stop me. They probably don't. It's probably just some bullcrap rule somebody made up. I kind of wonder sometimes how much that goes on around me is a metaphorical illusion. How much of it actually matters. I'm not an idiot, but you live under a guise for so long, everything starts to run together. See, there's these creeks that run through the hills, and I could easily get through those. I just don't know where they go. When I get to the end of this, I know one way to go is uphill, and it takes me out by like a Dairy Queen and stuff. And the hill is pretty brutal. It's nothing I can't handle. It's just do I want to after walking 5 miles? I know I can. It's just, it's one of those things, like, when I used to actually have, like, people with me, doing something like that was more fun, because, you know, it didn't seem as much like work. You had distractions from the I don't know if I really want to call it leg pain, muscle strain, I don't know. Alright. I've walked down it before. I still had to walk up a big hill, but then, like, the downhill was much longer. So going up the big hill to go the opposite way, I've done that before. That's the long way I've been talking about going. Like, I'd go up to the beer joint, and go down to the mining company, go all the way out to where the Eagles were, and follow that road at the end, all the way up around to the other side of this trail, and then back. But that's almost 10 miles. And like I said before, I definitely can do it. It's just less motivation to do it alone. Like, you know, I get halfway through and be asking myself, why the heck did I do this? I was thinking about going to the lake or the dam and walking around it, but it's another one of those places that once I start that hike, I have to complete it. There is no turning around. Like, not really. And as it's pretty downhill to start with, it's pretty, what was I saying? Either side you start at to go down to the lake is, the other side is a hill. So, and they're both pretty bad hills. Like, either way you go, you're hitting a hill. So, it's like one of those things. I think that's where I wanted to go. Like I said, this is it. This is definitely it. I don't remember it being this far up. And you see that, like, mud patch? I can hike down there. There's like an old box, a railroad box I used to sit on, but with all the train traffic, I'm just not gonna. Maybe. I might take the train tracks back and then walk up this, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to put too much thought into it. It's not like it really matters. The only difference between walking here and walking down there, besides the trains, is I think there's a person back there. I'm pretty far back, but I do think there's a person back there. The difference between walking down there and walking up here, besides the trains, is the fact that down there, there's always an opportunity of me finding something of worth. Up here, it's way less likely, unless somebody dropped their wallet. That's pretty unlikely. Me finding $1 out in the woods, well, finding a wallet here wouldn't be too unheard of, but me finding money is rare, let alone finding it in a place where hardly anybody goes. Plus, if most people that come down here, you know, ride bikes and stuff, I think they're a little bit smart enough to put their valuables in a place they're not going to fall out of their pocket. Not that that particularly matters, because like I said before, when I find something like that, I usually try to return it. But you know how that goes. It all kind of depends on the situation. I'm not in any position to turn down free money. So yeah. Alright. Doing that stammering thing again. I'm gonna go. I'm pretty sure the end, like this is like a checkpoint kind of thing for me. I'm pretty sure the end is right around that corner. And I'm gonna hope their restrooms are unlocked, because that will make things a lot better than if they're not unlocked. So I will catch you guys if I decide to do something else or go somewhere else. So I did the stupid thing, decided I should torture myself a little bit, and I took the super long way. There's the eagle. I don't know how well you guys can see it. But there's one there. I think it's a baby because its head isn't white, as far as I can tell. I think it's one of the babies. Pretty big for a baby, but eagles are big, so yeah. I seen this little clearing here. I figured the cameraman came down here and was taking pictures of them. And I guess they made a permanent residence down here. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I actually got a shot of them because I usually, with all the leaves on the trees and stuff, I figured I wouldn't see them this year. But alright, I'm eating, so I'll get back. Alright, now that lunch is over, we can have a little chit chat. So, I did take the long way. There was a bit of a hill, a couple small hills. It was all public, that's why I didn't videotape it. And now I'm on the, my usual trail. I'm gonna head back around. I might stop and get some pizza. I don't know. Probably not. I'm complaining about getting fat. And I just walked like, I don't know, 7-8 miles. Probably killed at least one of those donuts. But, I don't know, we'll see. I might stop to eat something. I want to pick up a big old 24-ounce can of some sort of alcohol to add to the 2 I have left from the last time I drank. So when I decide to weed whack in the next day or, excuse me, oh, that apple, man. So if I decide to weed whack in the next day or two, I can just drink. I was going to drink tonight, but it's starting to rain, which is great and bad at the same time. Great because it, kind of keeps the bug population from in my face. And bad because, well, the camera could get wet. Big dog prints. I saw a human print too a little bit ago. Much smaller prints. Think raccoon. I seen a person print a little bit ago, but I can't tell how old they are. Probably this morning. Somebody is down here on a dirt bike, but I ain't too worried about them. Alright, so the camera doesn't get soaking wet. I think I'm gonna go. I don't really have anything else to say. I pretty much covered pretty much everything in the first section, so yeah. I'm not really tired. I mean, I still have like 2 miles to go, maybe 3, but I'm not really tired. I do have a rock in my shoe, and that's kind of annoying. As soon as I find a place to chill, I'm gonna take care of that. Other than that, I think I'll just catch you guys when I get back to the house. I'll edit this up and throw it up, and then you guys can watch it. But I hear a motorbike, so I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, it's been about 5 minutes. I thought of something interesting. So yesterday when I took that little walk and I, said I was gonna not put the video up or, archive it for later. I do plan to do that. I do plan to archive it for later. But when I was headed down, I ran into one of the guys, pretty much the guy that I speak to about like scrapping and stuff. So I ran into him and I sat in BS for a minute or two. And I asked him if he had those bolt cutters that he was gonna lend me. So I got the bolt cutters to take care of this wire up here. I didn't bring them with me because they're like 5 pounds. And, I'm carrying 6 pounds of food and 5 pounds of bolt cutters and 5 pounds of other tools. And I wasn't really planning on going this way, so I didn't bring them. But one of these days, I'm going to just cut off a small piece and see what he has to say about it. And then if it's worth it, then I'll try to do like, I don't know, 100 feet at a time or something. Until I get it all, probably. I ran into a way past customer of mine. And he saw me walking around with bolt cutters. He's like, well, that doesn't look good. I'm like, dude, it's a tool. I'm not, I understand what people could think people are using bolt cutters for. like to cut locks and junk, but I mean, it's a tool. I don't know why I would look bad. Considering the things I do, having a pair of bolt cutters isn't really... I don't see how that could be incriminating. Although I understand it, I kind of just laughed. The whole idea of him telling me that things I do look bad was kind of funny. And then the idea of, you know, like, it's going to matter if I have bolt cutters or not. They decide, I already have it in my head, you know, they decide that they're going to, that I'm going to get arrested. I'm sure they could find a reason. It ain't going to matter if I have bolt cutters or not. It ain't going to matter if I'm drinking a beer out in the woods or not. You know, if somebody decides, like, what am I going to do? Say it wasn't me? That got me real far last time. So, if the decision's made to throw me in the clink, that's just what's going to happen. So, you know, I just thought it was kind of funny. I did want to say, it's raining harder. I did want to say, though, I got the bolt cutters, so I can move forward with this mild obsession. I think the only reason I care so much about this is because definitely, I am so sure that wasn't there before. Like, it's so out of place. Like, I was so sure. But, I mean, nobody put it there. Like, having somebody run a wire through the woods is more absurd than me not seeing it the first 3,000 times I was down here. So, yeah, that's that. All right, I'm coming up to it's starting to rain harder. I want to keep the camera protected, and I'm coming up to the area where I'm going to get this stupid rock out of my shoe. So, turkey tracks. That's a big guy too. But this really is the end. I really ain't got nothing else to really say. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. You're probably wondering, why doesn't he order a salad? Well, let me tell you real quick. I don't order a salad because it costs like $2 more than like a full-blown burger or sandwich. And not only is it made with fairly cheap ingredients, it's also like I'd have to eat 10 of them. I'd have to eat 10 of them or I'd be starving in like 20 minutes. That's why I'm not planning on ordering a salad. I might not order pizza. I might do like a chicken wrap or turkey wrap or something like that. It's a little healthier. But the reason I don't do salads is because it probably costs them $2 to $3 to make it, and they sell them for like $8.99. You know, I'm all about the people making some money, but that's extortion. That's, you want to eat healthy, you want to be healthy, you'll pay the price.